Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a really long time. It feels like it's been a really long time since I've done one of these videos. And I've missed it. These are some of my favorite videos to make. I love showing off the rocks that I tumbled. And I think this batch has some pretty cool ones. So let's get right into it and take a look at some of these. I'll start out with the biggest one like I usually do. This is just a big banded iron formation. It's not the prettiest one. It's just kind of brown. It still has some cool silver parts that I really like on there. It's kind of cool. They're a little bit sparkly. And it's also got this cool white quartz vein running through it. And as usual with these, it took an excellent shine. So pretty happy about that one. I think my favorite rock from the batch is this one. I think this is a piece of Epidote. I only say that because it's green. And I actually found this in some landscaping rock. But it took a very excellent shine. It's got some beautiful green veins going through it. And it's just a really beautiful rock. And I don't find a lot of green around here, so I always love it when I do. I think this one's another landscaping rock. I'm not going around like just randomly to different places and stealing from their landscaping. These are from work. So if they want them back, I'll give them back. I think this one, I want to say is maybe flint or like banded chert, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's got some cool stripes in it. This is a really interesting rock. This is one that I found on my trip to the trip was to Michigan, but I made a stop on the way back in the Upper Peninsula, and one of the rocks I found in there was this one. It's actually the rock that I used for my thumbnail photo for that video. And it's really interesting. I didn't think it was going to tumble all that well, and I did spend a really long time tumbling it, but there were kind of these yellow spots, and like this one undercut, but that's kind of the only one that did. But it was kind of like that all the way around, and I thought for sure like over here that these would undercut, but they didn't, and I'm surprised by that. So I'm just pretty shocked at how well this rock turned out. And I still have no idea what it is. It's pretty though. Here's a good favorite of mine. Beautiful piece of Mary Ellen Jasper. That one had a couple of pits in it. It's hard to find stuff that isn't either cracked or has pits in it. Not really sure what this one is. It's kind of weird because that one corner there didn't get as shiny as the rest of it. Like you could just kind of see where the light disappears on it. Like you can see the reflections pretty well, and then hardly at all. This one is an agate, a Lake Superior agate. Clearly that was not going to tumble out. And there's a few holes throughout it, but it's still pretty cool. It's got some neat kind of mossy patterns in it. I don't know, it was kind of an ugly agate to begin with. And I don't know, I'm not going to say it's ugly now, but it's not the best one that I've tumbled. Here we have a piece of binghamite. Not the most interesting piece. There's not really any chatoyancy to this one. But you can see those fibrous formations in there. Here's another piece of it. This one's more golden. And then kind of plain on that side. Not really sure what that one is. Maybe some type of jasper. There's just a piece of quartz. Let's see, what else is interesting? Another piece of quartz. This one did not tumble very well. I'm not really sure what this one is, but lots of spots undercut there. Piece of oolitic jasper. There's quite a few of those in here. Here's another piece. There's another piece. I'm picky with my jaspers for a reason. That one's got kind of a cool stripe through it. A little bit of iron going on the other side. There's so many of them. Here's another one. I mean, they're cool, but look at that. That's 5 rocks. There's a 6th one over there. That one's got like a little bit bigger, I don't know what you'd call those, oolites maybe. Sorry, there's a lamp over here that I'm using to light this, and I keep hitting it with rocks. This rock is really little, but it's pretty special to me. This is my first ever Montana agate that I've completed tumbling. I've got a whole bunch of bigger ones, and they should be ready in the next batch. But this little one took an excellent shine, and it's really cool. You can see it has some bands in it. Not really much for like mossy dendritic patterns in it, but I don't know, I like it. It's a cute little guy. Is that another piece? Some type of jasper. Maybe oolitic. Oh, this one's interesting. This one's actually an agate, like a jasp agate. And it's got just a little bit of banding right there. Like you can actually see like half of an eye. It's an interesting rock. It had a bad hole in it, but I didn't want to lose that little bit of banding. Here we go. Here's an interesting banded iron. This one you can see had some fault lines in it. That whole backside is like all metallic. No idea what this one is, but it's pretty cool. Kind of greenish. Here's another piece of Mary Ellen Jasper. This one's weird. I think this one's Mary Ellen Jasper because it's got the swirls, but it's also a bit more translucent. So, not entirely sure that one's Mary Ellen Jasper, but it's still a neat rock either way. I'm not really sure what that is, but it looks interesting. Seeing lots of quartz around here. I started filming on a towel so I can do this a little bit more without it being so loud, hopefully. It's kind of an interesting piece of jasper with those veins of quartz running through it. This rock turned out well, but I just don't like it. I just don't like the colors of it. See some more pieces of oolitic jasper. This rock not only had all the edges damaged, it also broke apart in the tumbler. So I think the corner is in this group too. Yeah, there it is. It's kind of funny because the edges on that one broke too. Or didn't break, but had got that bruising or whatever it is. a green rock. For not having a lot of green rocks around here, there sure are a lot of green rocks in this batch. This is kind of an interesting colored quartz. I wouldn't necessarily call it amethyst, but it's got a kind of a reddish purple hue to it. Oh, this rock was one that I couldn't decide whether it was an agate or not, because it had, you can kind of see some banding in there. But after tumbling it, I have determined that I do not think this one is an agate. But I couldn't tell you what else it would be. Maybe a piece of chert or something. But chert, like, it kind of undercut a little bit there. And chert doesn't really do that. Lots of pieces of quartz. I'll have some much more interesting batches coming up. It's kind of an interesting rock. That's another piece of bingham. That's a colorful rock. Is this one? I think this one's Mary Ellen. I don't think there's too much interesting with the rest of the rocks here, so if you want to see some other videos of rocks that I've tumbled, check them out. I'll leave some links right on screen here. Thank you so much for watching.